So this episode was going to be brought to you by Cubanisto, but I'm out of Cubanisto. I had to drown my sorrows. Cubanisto, please hook me up. I need you. All Bengals fans need you. So, Bengals fans, that happened. What the f***?
Where my people's at? Cincinnati 513 DRE on the map. Suge Brown XP, Jarvie Jar back to me. 700 Novocaine, all hell the fucking king. So focused.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of WhoDey Lounge. I'm your host, Cincy to France. In today's video, I just want to talk about my thoughts about the San Francisco 49ers versus Cincinnati Bengals and delve into a little debate, a Twitter debate on Andy Dalton. Let's get it. First, the positives. Tyler Boyd, 10 targets, 10 catches, 122 yards. That's not even counting the touchdown that he caught in the fourth quarter that got called back because of a holding penalty. He had a great game. I wish Andy Dalton could have targeted him more. 10 targets, 10 catches. For those of you not very strong in math, that's 100%. Another positive is John Ross. He went over 100 yards receiving for the second straight game. He looks like he's coming into his own now. If he can get rid of the drops that he's getting known for, hopefully he can eliminate those mistakes and he can come back and he can keep having these 150-yard receiving games and hopefully help lead us to some victories this year. Now on to some negatives, and I'm going to start here with Randy Bullock. I talked about this in my last video, so I'm going to talk about it again because it seems to keep coming up. We don't trust Randy Bullock. Once again, he goes out there and he misses a 50-yard field goal. Now, Andy Dalton didn't do him any favors by going out there and getting a penalty for an illegal forward pass just before that attempted field goal. However, he had the field goal attempt and he missed it. We don't trust Randy Bullock. He also went out there and he kicked a 37-yard field goal, which he barely made. I guess we need to give him credit for making that 37-yard field goal. However, all I can see is he almost missed that 37-yard field goal. We don't trust him, but I guess we don't have any choice at this point. He's the only kicker on the roster. It is what it is. Speaking of it is what it is, this offensive line. During the game, I tweeted out that we need to scour practice squads and free agents to come up with some help for the offensive line. And that was before Michael Jordan went down with an injury. He got carted off the field. Cordy Glenn, I hope he's okay. He's entered into that I hope he's okay territory. He's been out 5 weeks now with a concussion. He's been in concussion protocol, and it doesn't look like there's any end in sight to that, at least as of this recording. I just hope he's okay. Forget the football side of things. I hope he's okay as a person. Now, I'm here to talk about the football side of things. We need help. Wherever it can come from, we need help. So hopefully he can come back and he can help us. However, Bengals fans, you guys are getting a little ahead of yourselves as far as how much help he can provide. I think you forgot. He didn't have his best season last year already. It wasn't like he was the best left tackle in the NFL. Far from it. He got his job taken by the first-round pick, Jonah Williams. He actually got moved into left guard, if you remember that, because we thought, hey, he might be better as a left guard than sitting out there at left tackle, and plus we want to get our first-round pick on the field. However, when Jonah Williams got hurt, he moved back out to left tackle. Second string left tackle, okay? Even at 100% healthy, I don't think he's going to provide the type of help that will turn the offensive line completely around. And I don't want to keep harping on the offensive line, but I feel like I have to. In my last video, I talked about what are tight ends doing out here pass blocking one-on-one against defensive ends. Now, we did that with some success last week against the Seattle Seahawks. This week, it bit us in the butt big time. There was one play where CJ Uzomah was pass blocking one-on-one against Ronald Blair, the defensive end for the San Francisco 49ers. And Ronald Blair went right around CJ Uzomah and sacked Andy Dalton. There is no way CJ Uzomah should be out there one-on-one against a defensive end. There was another play in the game in the third quarter where we had Drew Sample. He was in line and he started blocking the defensive end, and he got help from none other than John Ross. So here we have a tight end and a wide receiver pass blocking. Out on the routes, there were 2 receivers out running routes. 2. There were 7 DBs in the backfield. 7. 2 against 7. There was nowhere for Andy Dalton to throw the ball. Of course, Drew Sample, John Ross should not be responsible for blocking defensive ends. Now, I get why. We need protection. We need to protect Andy Dalton any way we can, and the offensive line isn't holding up in the way that it should. However, you can't have 2 receivers out running routes against 7 DBs and a tiny, quick, fast wide receiver helping out a tight end to block defensive ends. That's just not something we can sustain. We did it last week. We did it again this week. It's not something that we can just keep up. There has to be some type of scheming or game planning to avoid this. I guess they're doing what they can with what they have, but it can't. You're gonna get Andy Dalton killed. Now on to the defense. Everybody was flying high after that Seattle Seahawks game where the defense looked really good. 5 sacks, flying around, having fun. That did not look like the case this week against the 49ers. Everybody's talking about how slow our linebackers looked, and they looked slow, but they've looked slow for a few years now. We've always had problems covering tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. This is no different. The San Francisco 49ers ate us up. The tackling wasn't where it needs to be, and Jerry Kirkpatrick had a bad game. Yes, I would like to see Darius Phillips get more snaps where Jerry Kirkpatrick is getting those snaps. But the defense is what it is, much like the offensive line. I don't see much help coming. I just hope Lou Anamuro can scheme up some things to get us looking closer to what we look like in week 1 as opposed to week 2. And now I kind of wanted to dive into this little bit of Twitter debate that was going on concerning Andy Dalton. There are some people who just look at Andy Dalton and say he's not the problem. He didn't give up 41 points. Leave him alone, whatever. When it comes to Andy Dalton, I'm not impartial. I love Andy Dalton. I remember when Andy Dalton came in, when he got drafted, him and AJ Green, they went to the playoffs the first 5 years of the Andy Dalton regime. Now, as far as Andy Dalton is concerned, I guess I'm a bit like where some Giants fans are with Eli Manning. I remember the good times. I kind of want to hold on to the good times, but at the same time, I realized that there was a need for an upgrade at that position. It's easy to see with the Giants because they're not my team and I don't have that emotional attachment with them. However, when it's me and it's my quarterback, I see, oh no, but Andy Dalton, he was so good his rookie year, his first 5 years, and now, yeah, we need more. I think, unfortunately, I do think he's average. I do think most quarterbacks in the NFL these days can come out and do what he's doing. I just think we need to try to find someone who can elevate everyone around him. And I don't think that Andy Dalton is that caliber of quarterback, unfortunately. Now, after this Bengals game, how will we see Andy Dalton? For example, Damian Willis catches a couple of those curl routes that he dropped. When he threw that same curl route to Tyler Boyd, he caught it. Twice, I think they ran the same play to Tyler Boyd for completions, for first downs, whereas we tried that same play to Damian Willis and he dropped it. Now, I'm not trying to pick on Damian Willis. It's just the reality of the situation and how we see Andy Dalton. Okay. Another play, once again, to Damian Willis is that long pass attempt in the end zone, where on the left side, where Damian Willis, he dove out to catch the ball, but I couldn't help. It took me straight back to the Seahawks game when Metcalf over Jackson. Remember that pass where Metcalf and Jackson were running side by side and Metcalf just kind of bodied Jackson out of the way and caught that pass from Russell Wilson? I was thinking, well, if that had been Metcalf on that route for the Bengals, would he have caught that? If that had been AJ Green, what would have happened? If that had been Tyler Boyd, a big body receiver that would have just bodied the DB out of the way, what would have happened? What could have happened? Not saying that all of these things would have happened or every one of these players would have came down with that touchdown where Damian Willis would not. However, it would be interesting to see AJ Green in that situation. OBJ had that same, well, not the exact same catch because it was on the other side of the field, but one hand, stuck his hand out and made that catch. If that had been OBJ instead of Damian Willis. Now, I know OBJ, Damian Willis, AJ Green, Damian Willis is not really fair. What I'm doing is not really fair to Damian Willis, but the point is, how differently will we see Andy Dalton today? We would say, what a great pass from Andy Dalton. He dropped a dime, the only place where the receiver could catch it, and this receiver caught it, and that's another touchdown. And how differently will we see him? How differently will we look at those numbers if that touchdown to Tyler Boyd hadn't got called back because of WhoDey? There are some things that I think some people forget when we talk about Andy Dalton. However, when it comes to, is he able to elevate the players around him? Probably not. He's not that caliber of quarterback. However, he made some throws, some beautiful throws where if it had been another receiver, it might have had different results. We saw that a few times with those scroll routes, and I couldn't help but to think that that might have been the case with that touchdown attempt to Damian Willis in the end zone. If that had been AJ Green, if that had been Metcalf, if that had been Auden Tate, who has just been bigger, stronger, and able to jump up higher than the DB, what would have happened? What could have happened? You never know. I'm not trying to bash Damian Willis, but in the context of how we see Andy Dalton after that game, I think it's important to remember that not everything that went wrong in that game was his fault. Okay, that's all I've got for today. Hopefully I will get another video out here soon. Maybe preview the next game, or perhaps some other content that I keep promising, and I hopefully that other content will be coming to you soon. But until then, WhoDey.